get started, first of all, congratulations on making it to the finals. You guys have done an amazing job to get here. Great curling all throughout the weekend, and really appreciate you coming to Philly to share in this 47-year-old festival with us. A couple of just quick thank yous. Thank yous to the committee who has put on this shindig, to Ashley, to Tony, to Robin, to Nadia, Mark, Krista and Derek, to Katie, to Ingrid, to Nancy, Lacey, Ginger, Paul, Donna, Catherine, and Jen.
And Sean.
And
Yay.
This event does not come off without a very big group of people that all have added their own mark to this event. So really appreciate the food, the ice crew, and Joe and all his things that he's done, everything to get the technology and all that going throughout the time, and obviously to our Piper. So good luck, and to the Piper.
To the Piper!
Good curling, everyone.
Tastes like win.
Yeah.
Good curling, guys. Good luck.
Good morning and welcome to the 2024 Harvest C and D event finals. The finals this year are for the C event, While My Skip Gently Weeps, with Potomac and Bellefontaine, versus Sgt. Pepper's Sweeping Hearts, Craig MacKinlay's Philadelphia team. Sheet D, or Event D finals are Sweep and Shout for Potomac and Kevin King, and that is versus Yesterday, All My Draws Seem So Far Away, Gallegos and Ardsley. The A and B event finals will follow after this at 11:15. Meanwhile, coins are being flipped to determine hammer. The teams were announced in red-yellow, so red is While My Skip Gently Weeps, yellow Sgt. Pepper's Sweeping Hearts, red Sweep and Shout, and yellow All My Draws. Looks like Team Bellefontaine will have hammer on the C event, and Kevin King and Sweep and Shout will have hammer on the D event. Leslie with the first throw.
Always Sharon. Stones are going exactly the same.
Both stones tracking very similar to each other. Both into the house. One going to the button, one going to the top 8. Another simultaneous throw. Sheet 2 sweeping right away. Looking to hit. Sheet 1 looking like it's going to be a corner guard. Hit successful on sheet 2. Craig calling for a 3-4 from Leslie. Meanwhile, was wrong on sheet 2. That was not a successful hit, so they're going to try to guard it. Meanwhile, Katie and Brian sweeping to try to get the guard in front. Christy calling for a draw around to the corner guard. Meanwhile, Kevin going for the hit, the guard not quite covering up. Jamie's rock is away. Looks like it's a little tight, so they're sweeping. Jess sweeping, trying to keep the line straight. Jamie Stone gonna go on the inside of his guard. More of a corner guard now. Meanwhile, the sweep and shout Stone looks like it might have ticked, but ends up in the house. Craig thinking of a takeout, but realizing it's too early for that. 5 rock rule not yet satisfied. Tim on sheet 2. Looks like looking to taking it out. No, going to be drawing. Craig McKinley's stone going to just tick off and spill out into the open. Meanwhile, Kevin now looking to take out some guards. Ben with the peel rock. Just missing the double. Spinning out of the way. Meanwhile, Lisa's stone, all that control down. Going to Christy calling for the sweep. Looks like it's going to curl a lot more than they expected. And just tick the Sgt. Pepper's stone out into the outer ring. Craig now clearing the guard. Tim Stone on sheet 2, resulting, oh, Sharon took a spill, accidentally touches the stone, so it's removed from play. Meanwhile, Brian, take out. Craig is calling for the sweep, keep the line straight. Looks like it's going to make contact and spill into the house. Kevin asking Ben to take out the shot stone, calling for Jess to sweep and keep it straight. Meanwhile, Christy calling for Lisa to draw in. Sheet 2 makes the hit and spills out. Jamie calling top 4 weight. Now looks like it's getting a little heavy going to the back of the 4-foot. Looks like Craig's going to try to help it out of the rings, and it will just make it out of the rings. Tim being called for the sweep for Ardsley and making the hit and sticking. Katie trying to draw into the rings on sheet 1. Meanwhile, Jess going for another takeout. Calling off. Calling back on for Tim. Looks like going to just hit and roll over. Looks like it's gonna stick out a little bit, going too far to be undercover. Meanwhile, Doug on sheet 1 looking for a draw.
Want a hit or draw?
Sharon and Matt trying to decide. Looks like it's going to be a hit on that back red. Jamie calling Doug's rock is back of the house, a little heavy. Meanwhile, Sharon Stone on sheet 2. Calling for Tim to sweep, keeping it straight. Got to get around the guard, which it will. And Tim saves it, keeps it in the rings. Meanwhile, sheet 1, the rock goes a little deep. Will sit in the back of the house, probably third shot. Katie drawing in on sheet 1. Brian saying needs it for weight. While Jess on team sweep and shout. Looks like it's going to try to draw and possibly freeze to that back yellow. Katie's stone carried by the sweepers to touch the button on sheet 1. Christy going to try to just soft weight take it out with a hack shot. Sheet 2, they're dragging the stone under cover, and looks like it won't go all the way, but it will go to the tee line, which is pretty good. I think it is actually undercover. Sheet 1 needing to curl. They're crying for it to curl. Gonna just skinny the rock. Get deflected a little bit and end up on their own. So Team Yellow on sheet 1 sitting 2. Meanwhile, Sharon holding the broom for Matt's skip rock. Craig coming down for the first skip rocks as well. Craig saying he doesn't mind a guard. He's sitting 2 without hammer, so steal at 2 is very good. Calling for Tim on sheet 2 to curl the rock a bit more. It is curling. Will it come down to the red? Looks like it will just touch it. Bouncing the red a little bit out and sitting shot stone. Craig's stone is away on sheet 1. Looking for just a guard. Line's good on sheet 1. Katie calling. That's Lee and Brian trying to. So, just frozen on the top of the house. Will serve to be a fairly effective guard. So, Christy trying to decide what to do. Looking at the draw around the intern side. Draw is there because the button's open. Meanwhile, Kevin with his first skip shot, looking to pick out that yellow. Control weight, needing to curl, so we're trying to get to sweep it. And no, just going to go on by. Leaves Matt possibly block the draw path, something a little higher, so Kevin can't get to the button on his last. Jamie sending top 4. Sweeper saying it's light, need to sweep for weight. Oh.
I burned it. I touched it.
Touched it, but it was after the hog line, so it's not pulled immediately. Leaves McKinlay to decide what to do with it, and he says it's fine. Matt, meanwhile, are drawing in. Sharon saying the line's good. Waiting for the stone to break. Now Tim's trying to sweep it to encourage it to curl. looking for a little bit more to try to get it deep as possible. On the center line, it's a good sweep by Tim. Meanwhile, Craig shot his way, trying to get around him to the redstone. Straight, holding it straight. It's curling. Looks like it's going to tick that guard. And it does. Opens it up a little bit. Looks like trying to decide how to get a second shot in there. Meanwhile, Kevin's shot for hammer here. Last stone. Calling back 8, which would be heavy. Looks like it. They're thinking it's definitely heavy. That's going through the house. Which is a steal of 1 for yellow. So yesterday all my draws seemed so far away, stealing the 1 point. Christy with her own hammer. Calling a guard. Really hanging out, not curling back in. Tim trying to sweep it in, or Doug, sorry, but it's going to be short. Waiting for the vices to decide which one's closer. They're looking closely. Saying, I think it's red. So they're going to measure on sheet 1 to see who is actually closer. Timing is not an issue in this game because there is no clock. And meanwhile, Jamie is setting the measuring device to cool off. Doug's setting it down. Meanwhile, on sheet 2, first stone in the house a little deep. Second stone also going in the house. Going to be just behind the tee line. Leaves Matt to say we're going to attack it. Super close, but red is the call. So Christy will score her 1. Tim, meanwhile, on sheet 2, sweeping hard. Sweeping hard to keep it from over curling and possibly, yes, it doesn't curl too much, which means the red misses the back yellow. Matt's team now sitting 2, leaving Kevin to go for his own takeout. Doug calling a 2 out of hand on sheet 1. 3-4, might be a guard, might be a little heavy. Jess, meanwhile, sweeping on sheet 2, trying to keep it straight, Jamie's rock going into the back of the house. Meanwhile, Team 1, sheet 2, sweep and shout, rock, misses the takeout and flashes through the house. Leslie looking to throw a corner guard. Jamie commenting the ice is up to speed. Usually the first end is a little slow. corner guard going into the house. Christie ignoring it, looking for a center guard instead. Meanwhile, on sheet 2, Ardsley is going to be into the house. And Kevin going to counter sweep, trying to get the rock out. Jamie's second rock. Sweeper's thinking it's lighter. 2-3 would be a guard. Doesn't look like it's... Looks like it's curling a bit more than they expect, but it will stay a guard outside the rings. Sheet 2. Makes the takeout. And rolls, flops into the center 4. Leslie saying her stone is coming back, trying to get it underneath the guard that while my skip gently weeps just through. Meanwhile, Tim Stone sweeping hard to try to keep it in line, and does, but manages to hit the back yellow and take it out. The red does spill out, so doesn't jam completely. Meanwhile, Lisa being called by Christie to take out the yellow stone Leslie just threw. Control is called. Needs to sweep. It's curling a bit heavy at the end. Will get by the guard, make the takeout, and just flop underneath. Very nice shot. Meanwhile, Ben taking control to remove the final yellow in the sweeper, saying it's a little faster, now normal. Hit and sticks. Meanwhile, Craig electing to take out the guard. Double is possible here. Sheet 2, counter hit. Tim being called to keep the line straight. Katie on sheet 1. Will take out the guard and just tick their own a little bit further into the ring. Tim, meanwhile, holds the stone straight, takes out the red and sticks.
Jamie, is there a reason the one rock is still here? Because I'm really bad at counting. Okay.
Jamie throwing the wrong rock. Not that the order of the rocks are numbered. Most people throw them in order. There's no rule that says you have to. Control the normal on sheet 2. Looks like trying to help it curl a little bit. Likely gonna hit the rock but spill out. Lisa Stone, meanwhile, being called top 4, but it is curling heavily at the start.
It doesn't matter at all.
Looks like it might end up just being a guard put back in. Curls a little too far, but swept to be frozen. Craig saying, let's double this out. Matt, meanwhile, says as long as we're in on this one, open house. Looks like they have more than enough weight to get in. Kevin going to come and counter sweep. Stays in. Brian's shot very strong. It's going to be close to the outer edge of the red stone. Hits the red, top red jams. Yellowstone flops out. Red still shot. Christie deciding which way to go. Christie looking for normal. Christie looking to hit and stick instead. Kevin trying to, or Ben trying to sweep to keep this in, and the red stone stays on sheet 2. Christie, meanwhile, waiting for Doug to take out of the yellow. Little down, and it's going to curl, so they're calling for the sweep. Calling hard sweep. Not quite off yet. Takes it just enough. Spills out the shooter. Meanwhile, Matt Skipstone looking to take out the red in the rings. Matt does not have hammer. Wants to hit and stick to try to force the other team to just 1 point. Katie, meanwhile, trying to clear the house. Matt Stone does stick around at the very edge. It's a good spot for the team. Makes it a little harder to take out. Meanwhile, Craig Stone flops out to the outer edge. Christie deciding what to do. Christie saying just draw to the center.
Those were options. Draw to it or bump it out.
Doug saying no, let's draw to it. Meanwhile, Kevin's first skip stone. Jamie calling down, trying to hold it straight and keep it going far enough. Christie saying yes, it needs it. Jamie's sweeping it all the way. Meanwhile, Kevin Stone is going. Sweepers look a little nervous about it. Does hit and rolls into the center. Meanwhile, Jamie managed to hold the rock to hit the yellow on sheet 1, but it spills out a little bit and yellow is still shot. Katie's second stone looking to split the house, prevent the double. Sharon calling for another hit and stick. Craig telling his sweepers, take a look, thinks it might be plenty of weight as it is. Looks like it's going to come down and be 8 foot, just short of the tee line. Christie looking to take out the yellow. It is possible to get that crosshouse double. Not easy to do though. Meanwhile, sheet 2, hit and stick. Leaving Kevin the option to hit and stick for 1, or more likely hit and have both rocks fly out for a blank to retain the hammer. Christie on sheet 1 with her first skip stone. She does not have hammer. Jamie saying it's a little hot for control and a little wide. Doug indicating a little wide as well. Gonna miss the stone and sail on by. Ben sweeping on sheet 2, trying to hold the line. Keep it from, nope. Does just curl a little too much, nose, and so it will be a force of 1, which will bring the hammer back to Matt with the score tied 1-1 on sheet 2. Craig looking what to do, likely going to split the rings a little bit more. draw on sheet 2. Sweeper's thinking it's a little light. Brian and Leslie sweeping hard on sheet 1. Trying to get it down and in. Wanting to outcount that red, which they will. Good job, sweepers. Christy now thinking what she's going to do. She can either draw and try to prevent Craig from taking her out by using the backing on the right side. We're trying to get rid of a stone or two. Meanwhile, Aaron on sheet 2 going for nice corner guard. Keeps slipping, but it will stay short. Kevin saying, let's draw under our guard that we just threw. Christy debating the line. Looks like the call is to go over and try to freeze down to the side. Top 12 for sweep and shout. Jess's rock indicates that it needs to curl a little bit more. Nope, now they're holding it straight. Trying to get it go. It looks like it's going to be a little short. Oh, no, just kisses the guard. Redirects out into the open. Still a guard. Still can't be hit, though. Christie's last stone on sheet 1. Oh, sweeper's saying it's too heavy. Doug calling the curl, trying to get it to curl enough to hit one of the stones. Craig getting ready to counter sweep it, but no need as it sails by. Craig now with an open draw for 4. Tim being called on the sweeping, trying to curl that stone on sheet 2 to get around their guard. Looks like it makes it past the first guard, telling Tim to slow down. Don't want it to get too deep. T-line looks like it's gonna stick out a little bit, so Kevin gonna chase. Craig's hammerstone is away. Brian and Leslie sweeping it, thinking it needs it. Trying to hold it straight, it's curling quite a bit. Ben Stone, meanwhile, looks like a control weight hit, so Jess trying to keep it from sweeping, worried about that guard. Craig Stone getting there. Oh, it looks like it will be close, but I don't know. It's just 3, so Craig being just a little short. Still a big end for Craig McKinlay and Sergeant Pepper's Sweeping Hearts. Up 3-1. Hammer back to Team Bellefontaine, and While My Skip Gently Weeps. Tim, meanwhile, on sheet 2, looking to clear out a guard. Sharon called, keep it straight. Looks like they're going to just replace the guard with one of their own. Still better to have your own color out front. Meanwhile, Kevin saying, let's take advantage and draw around. Leslie on sheet 1. Sweeper's thinking it's going to be a little deep. Needs to come back a fair amount if they want it in the center. Ben Stone, sweeper saying it's going to be in the back of the house. Kevin worried about the line. Nope, says we're by the guard. Meanwhile, Leslie Stone ends up just biting the 8-foot in the center. Did manage to come back. Christie saying let's get a corner guard to get some offense going. Ben stone sailing out the back of sheet 2. Jamie on sheet 1. Lisa saying it's going to be a higher guard. Tim trying to draw into the center, it looks like around the guard. Matt saying it's a little tight. Meanwhile, Jamie's stone going to just miss Team McKinley stone. Craig saying he's going to take that out. Leslie with the takeout is away. Meanwhile, the stone on sheet 2 ends up on the guard. Katie being told to sweep on sheet 1, keep it straight. Looks like it will be enough. Ends up with the 2 stones from Leslie frozen together on the top 12. Jess, meanwhile, looking to get around with her own stone. Top 8 called T. Meanwhile, Christy's saying we've got to get rid of these 2. Telling Jamie to throw control. Sheet 2 looks too heavy again. That sheet being a little deceptively heavy for him. We'll tick the red, get out of the rings, but still biting the back line, so it's a tripping hazard. Just clean on sheet 1. Pretty happy with where that's going. Manages to touch them both, but just rolls the second yellow into the 4-foot. Sharon, meanwhile, trying the elusive draw on sheet 2. Back of the house called again. Meanwhile, Brian's shot on sheet 1. Looks like it will be in the center line. Meanwhile, Sharon's shot looks like she managed to keep it in the rings. On the back of the 4-foot, Kevin going to chase with Jess. Christy thinking about how she wants to do this. Control weight, possible double on sheet 1. Meanwhile, sheet 2, they're calling back 12. Needs to curl to touch that yellow. Looks like it will end up T-line, but second shot. Lisa's control weight hit on sheet 1. Little down, little wide. Might end up on the back one instead. Yes, just gets the back one. Rolls to the edge of the rings. Sharon on sheet 1. Looking to take out the red and possibly flop under into cover. Matt calling Tim to sweep. Trying to, needing to curl a little more. Seems to be pretty happy with the line. Tim now. Going to just tap the red. Freeze to it. No, not frozen. Looks like the red may still be second shot. Brian, meanwhile, on sheet 1, looking to take out. Needs to curl a little bit more. Leslie trying, just ticks it. Does get it out, so successful hit. Meanwhile, Kevin's shot on sheet 2. Looks like he's going to try to hit this one with more weight. Loses shot behind it, but can flop into the rings for shot stone himself. Lisa being asked to throw a second control weight shot on sheet 1. Jamie saying bored, so a little light. Doug trying to get it to curl a little bit more. Meanwhile, Kevin's shot is away on sheet 2. Sheet 1 ends up missing. Hack being called on sheet 2. Line trying to keep it straight so that, yes, she didn't want to knock the yellow one further in, so better a miss. Katie, meanwhile, drawing into the center.
Wait only.
Wait only. Craig likes the line. Brian and Leslie thinking it needs a little more help to get farther. Meanwhile, Matt's first skip stone. Looks like he's got to draw in. Solid guard on sheet 1. The back rock is sticking out about half, Doug says. Hack weight hit is called. Matt and Doug both away. Back line called on sheet 1. Matt calling for sweep on sheet 2 for line. Now Doug's shot on sheet 1 going wide, sailing through. Meanwhile on sheet 2, coming in nicely, just sweeping to finish it. Will be second shot and blocking the draw path on that side. Kevin trying to figure out how he can get a shot in here to prevent a big end from prevent Matt from getting a big end. Brian sweeping on sheet 1. Looks like trying to set up a guard for their stone. Going to end up a corner guard. Won't block Christy. Christy, however, just deciding she needs some counters in the ring and is going to draw. Kevin, meanwhile, trying to think about, can he get rid of some of these? Doug Stone being called top 4. Should be a good place for him to stop. Lisa and Jamie sweeping hard. Worried about, thinking it's going to be a little heavier. We'll clear everything, but is it going to go out the back? Not out the back. Just full 8 in the back, though. Second shot. Be hard for Craig to hit that with much weight. So Craig not worrying about it. Going to try to force or try to steal on this end by preventing Christie from being able to get anything in there and out counting his current one. Meanwhile, Kevin and Jess still discussing on sheet 2. Brian on sheet 1 thinking they have a hard time taking that one out, so leave it open, he says. And if they make a great shot, they make a great shot. Meanwhile, Kevin, having decided on a shot, Craig's shot is away. Katie saying Brian if it needs it. Leslie saying it's light. Katie now saying line needs it too. Looks like it's going to be a little deeper than anticipated, but just tick off that and Brian happy with that. It's a good spot. Hard to take out both and hard to get around them, but the draw around them is very possible still. Kevin changing his mind, going for the in-turn draw instead. Kevin's rock is away. Sweeper saying it's too heavy. Risk of going too far. Sweeper's not touching it. Afraid Sharon in there. And Sharon's going to sweep it out to where it doesn't matter. And out of the rings completely. Leaves Matt. Matt can hit his yellow into the red. If he sticks, that'll be a score of 4. Christy trying to think of what her shot is going to be. She has the hammer. Meanwhile, Hammerstone on sheet 2. Aaron being sweeping hard to keep the line. Hard to keep the line. Looks pretty happy with it. And gets the sweep and gets the 4. Big end for Matt on sheet 2. Yesterday, all my dreams seemed so far away. Scoring 4 and going up 5-1. Meanwhile, Christy on sheet 1, deciding on her shot. Does have one more shot after this one. This is her first. Doug calling Lisa's close. Now line. Hard, he says. Worried about the guard. Worried about the guard. He's going to get by the guard. Ends up hitting the yellow, jamming though. So yellow is sitting 2. Christy has a chance now with that yellow there to promote it. So Craig going to... Craig looks like he's not going to try risking the red, so stay wide of it. Craig saying the only bad thing for him would be hitting the red, so he's going to stay well clear of it. Meanwhile, Kevin calling for a guard here. First stone going in the top 12. Kevin not chasing that one. Does end up with a guard. The guard, the more aggressive move. Meanwhile, Craig's stone is coming slowly. Brian sweeping to make sure it doesn't curl. Now Doug in there. Looks like this is going to curl around and to be sitting first or second shot. Yellow's sitting there for the 3. Christy has to debate whether she's going to tap that red up or draw indirectly. Meanwhile, Aaron Stone being swept hard and will just kiss the existing yellow. Little separation between them. Kevin going to ignore them, needing to score points. He's going to try to get a second shot in and deal with the ones on top later. Doug sitting wide enough. A little heavy, it could draw and use the yellows for backing. A little narrow, it could hit the red and promote it. Sweeper's saying back 8, back 12 for sweep and shout. Stone looks like it's going to just tick the guard. Ends up splitting them so that they both are touching the red. Just not a bad outcome. Trying to curl it on sheet 1. Worried about the weight. Trying to curl it. Will hit the yellows but spill out. Steal of 3 for Craig's team. Meanwhile, Tim on sheet 2 looking to take out the red. Gonna hit it just nose and push it straight through. Doesn't jostle the yellows at all. Craig saying top biter for Leslie. Not wanting to put a guard up with the score 6-1. Meanwhile, Ben looking for a peel. Has a chance at a triple. Only ends up getting the 1. Yellow sitting 2 from the looks of it. Christie, meanwhile, sweeping the Leslie Stone on sheet 1 into the back 8. Tim going to try to remove the red again. Lisa calling 3 and 5. Now, Christie trying to see if they're going to hit the yellow, but they're curling too much. Sharon sweeping, trying to hold it. Does hold it. Tim picks out the red again without jostling his yellows. Meanwhile, Jamie's stone is swept to the back 12 by Craig. Craig electing just to hit it. Brian sweeping, trying to hold the line to keep the takeout alive. Will get it and stick. Meanwhile, Peel on sheet 2. Hits 2, but the second one stays in the ring. Didn't stick around, so we have 1 yellow with a red biter. Matt looking like he's interested in that biter. Yes, Matt going to try to just take out that biter. Note, fewer stones means fewer possible points. Tim being called a sweep. Looks like he's worried about the line. No, seems happier now. Meanwhile, Jamie Stone on the top 12. Tim Stone takes out the red, bounces off to the sideboard. Meanwhile, Jess didn't see what that was, if that was drawn under. But Brian trying to take out the red stone in the top 12. Katie sweeping it to keep it on line. Looks like it's going to just pick it out and roll over. Leslie trying to keep it roll over out of the way a little bit more. Take out by sweep and shout. Sitting the 1. Matt's looking at just taking it out back and turn. Christie calling Lisa to take out the 1. Board white called. Christie calling the sweep. danger of curling too far. Looks like she's on plan B for the other rock. Everyone's sweeping hard. Looks like the yellow is going to spill out on sheet 2 spills out to the side 8. Sheet 1, not a hit at all, but does get to the back 4 with backing. Craig saying, let's just get rid of this. Who cares if we lose the backing? Just trying to take out the Ardsley. Brian saying wide. Leslie trying to get it to curl enough to make contact. Ben being called to sweep. Does not make it for Brian's shot. Ben's shot does, or Ben's sweeping helps it enough to take out the rock and clear the house. Meanwhile, Matt saying he's going to try to draw somewhere where Kevin won't be able to chase. Christy calling for control takeout for Lisa. Lisa saying she's going to throw real control weight this time. Is away. Doug saying control down. Jamie saying bumper even lighter. Christy calling for the back one now, which they get. Not a bad outcome. Craig saying let's take this out. He's got a double possible. Normal weight's called. Meanwhile, Matt on the sheet 2. Sweeper saying they can't touch it, it's too heavy. Aaron being called afterwards. Trying to now get it around the guard. Does make it. Now just burying it on the top 4. Brian sweeping hard to keep on sheet 1. However, gets rid of the backing, but leaves the red shooter. However, yellow's still sitting the 2. Christy saying, let's hit the yellow and flop to one of the wings. Doesn't seem like she cares too much which one. Meanwhile, Kevin saying needing to clear out the guard on sheet 2. Doug's shot is away. Christie saying needs to sweep, and it is taken off. Plan B, other stone will be called for Bellefontaine. Will hit it, but will spill out. Oh no, will jam on their other red, knocking that out. But the shooter stays as a biter. Kevin's rock is called control out of hand on sheet 2. Jess calling for the curl to try to get it there. Just misses both rocks barely. Craig calling Katie to take out one of the red rocks. Meanwhile, Sharon calling for another draw. Not sure if it's going to be in the house or top of the house, but somewhere that just prevents Kevin from being able to score his 1. Katie's shot successful at taking out the Bellefontaine stone. Sergeant Pepper sweeping hearts, and Craig McKinley now sitting 2 on the back 4. Christie's saying let's put one on top of it, keep Craig from being able to hit it out. Matt, meanwhile, drawing in. Aaron saying thinks it's there. Looks like it's there and then some on sheet 2. Yeah, that's just taps, and we have 2 in the row. Christie's saying needing to sweep and just tap it, sitting in the back 4 with cover.
Normal, Jazz, right? Yeah. Okay, good.
Over on sheet 2, we have Jess calling Kevin for a double on the yellows. First, for potentially the blank.
Potentially the blank hammer shot. Ben sweeping hard. Oh. And
we get the blank.
Successful blank. Good shot by Kevin. Craig, meanwhile, on sheet 1, looking to just draw on top. Force Team Bellefontaine to get at most 1. Hope this is the plan.
I think he's looking to freeze on top.
Yep.
Sweeper saying it's a little light. Looks like it might over curl a tag.
Gonna be over curling and light, which gives Christie the chance to draw in and sit a second one on there. Christie's first skip stone.
Alright, over on sheet 2, we have a top 4 call. Since Gallegos is up 4. They're looking to go into the house.
Will be full 8 or mostly.
Yeah, Kevin's going to ignore it. Calls for the corner guard. So Taisha, Kevin's lead, is in her second year of curling. She's really taken to it. She's curled with Team India on their mixed 4 team. All right, on sheet 1, Christie with her first skip stones. Sweeper's calling it heavy, and they don't want to touch it, and it's got to move.
Slowing down, maybe we'll...
Well, they don't want to leave a double, so they kind of need it to corner freeze or something.
Looks like it's going to stop just at the top. Good shot. Double still available. Craig most likely going to go for it.
Craig can throw some heat with that backswing. Although his vice is trying to convince him to come in on the other side and freeze on top instead of playing the double. So Katie Daly saying the smart move would be to keep them to 1, given the scoreboard. Craig says, okay, fine, has been convinced, and so we have a draw on top freeze for sheet 1.
If he locks it on there, it'll be pretty hard for Christie to get him out of there.
Well, I think the idea is that if they lock corner frozen on the inside just slightly, Christie can only bang for, she can probably tap up her red for maybe 1. I think that's the thinking there. All right, over on sheet 2, we're going to tap up that corner guard just slightly. Okay, we have 2 corners, and Gallegos is just going to try to cut off that draw path and or put something else in front.
Looks like front is called.
Possibly a center guard. A tight 3.
Brian and Craig discussing the call, second guessing.
I think Brian's thinking is maybe giving up 2 given the scoreboard is okay. But if you miss this shot, then you're potentially giving up 3. Okay, over on sheet 2, Gallegos is going to tap theirs up, split a little. I guess there's technically a triple, but I think Kevin might just do a hit and roll. There's a double on the yellows and then a flop over under corner.
Triple would be hard, but they
He's
are
looking-
trying for it.
Yeah, I think they're looking for it's either a triple or it's a double with the flop. And Ben can throw some weight. Juniors love throwing peel weight whenever possible.
Craig Stone ended up to be the draw after all.
That's a little heavy. It's coming down with a lot of heat.
Yep, everyone's saying back of the house. This leaves Christy with her shot for 3.
Yep.
Just ends up taking one of their own a little bit deeper. Still sitting the 3rd and 4th stones.
Although I think it's set up that if Christy taps her own red, she would only get 2, given where that other yellow is 3rd shot currently, so she's going to come in the other way.
No, she looks like she's still going to go on that. She just needs to touch red, so maybe she's trying to draw around it.
It's not enough ice to draw around it. Alright.
Meanwhile, Tim drawing in on sheet 2.
Alright, so Tim's going in for, no, I think he's getting a center guard, is what they wanted.
Yes, center guard right on the line.
Kind of takes away that draw path to the corner, and so now Kevin's got to spend some time peeling some guards now.
Christie's rock being called all there, top 8. Needs a piece of the 4, Doug is reminding them. Lisa sweeping. Saying can't hurt it at this point.
They could split off that red and possibly roll on for 2.
Possible.
Alright.
And she gets it.
Alright, good sweep.
Good sweep from Lisa and Jamie for a score of 3, putting the score 6-4. Sgt. Pepper sweeping hearts ahead and with hammer.
Alright, we got a nice center guard peel by Ben on sheet 2. And I think Matt is just going to call for it again.
Putting it back up. Christy calling for a center guard on sheet 1. Jamie just going to throw it without her.
Jamie says the clock's a ticking even though there's no clocks on the final.
No clocks on the finals. Meanwhile, the centerline guard on sheet 2 is going down.
It'll settle nicely as a halfway guard.
Looks like Jamie's rock is just off the house, so nice tight 3 guard.
Alright, so Kevin's got to decide now. Is he going to peel again? Or is he going to try to move that red back onto the yellow so we can sit 2 in the house? And possibly roll the shooter under cover.
Looked like he was going to call for hack.
Yeah, so hack would be tapping the red onto the yellow, and then rolling their shooter over and then removing the yellow out.
Leslie's shot goes to the back 4, a little off to the side, out in the open. See if Christy chases.
Nope, she's just going to draw on top. Yep. All right, nice shot by Jess to split the reds and get one under cover there with the double corners.
Yellow's sitting 1, but red is 2 and 3.
Yep. So now Matt's talking about going under cover and basically out-counting the second shot red, given the way the guards are staggered and of mixed colors.
Jamie's shot on sheet 1 being swept frantically. Going to just touch the guard for a double center guard. Matt watching the draw on sheet 2 closely. Gonna miss the guards.
This might be a little deep.
Be just top of the button. Leslie Stone, meanwhile, Katie's saying a little down. Leslie's calling for weight, or for line. Craig saying needs it. Needs it. Going to just touch the guard, creating a little wall in front of their own.
Alright, so on sheet 2, Kevin contemplated peeling the yellow guard or coming down to the yellow that was just thrown.
What do you want?
And
Yeah, we can. I mean, I kind of just like clearing, Brian.
and so now he's thinking about peeling guards on his Vice's second.
Lisa on sheet 1, meanwhile, throwing the draw around the guards. Top 8, top 12 called, and Christie calling a sweep for line.
I think they might get a tap on their front guards.
Tap is possible. Definitely not getting around them. Looks like it's just going to freeze to it.
Alright, Craig, I think is going to maybe blast some rocks. Although,
Craig has hammer, so... Meanwhile, the takeout of the guard on sheet 2 is successful. Peels out everything and opens the middle.
I think Gallegos is going to put another center guard up. Yep.
Gonna be close to a jam. That's the problem.
Brian comes down to talk over the plan.
Then it maybe.
Craig says if you hit it slightly high off nose, you should get the double on the guards. Brian goes, but will it jam on the yellow? I think with the way the reds are lined up, if you hit it high, you probably leave at least one red, and then you lose your yellow shooter when it rolls off.
I'd want to hit it on the outturn side.
That's what they're talking about. Outturn side slight. Well, no, they're talking in-turn side slightly high.
That's interesting. The outturn side with the drag effect, you'd think would get at least 2, but maybe this
But
way
then
they
I
think
I think you leave your shooter if you come in on the outturn side, and I don't think they want the center guard there.
Well, you're leaving the other guards there, and you'd be on top of them. So, but meanwhile, Matt's rock is off on sheet 1. Tim sweeping.
For Curl, go, go, go. Hard, hard, hard. Gotta keep going.
He's gonna get a nice guard.
Okay.
Brian, meanwhile, with a rocket out of sheet 1. Looks like it's a little wide. No, it's curling nicely.
And that stuffed is exactly what happened. Alright, so on sheet 2, Gallegos has tempted Kevin greatly because he can see probably about 3/4 of the yellow that's on the top 4, and the question is, can you play the double, I think, which is what they're looking at. It is very tempting.
Christie, meanwhile, calling the top 4 draw around. With the 3 stones all frozen out front.
Well, she's got an empty house and a couple guards to help her out, so she can bury one here, top 4, might leave her a very nice setup for a steal, because those guards are going to take at least another 1 or 2 rocks to clear out. Alright, they have decided to go for the double on sheet 2.
Too tempting to pass up.
Yep. So a double here will roll the shooter to the left.
Into their red, most
Into their
likely.
red, and then Gallegos is probably drawing under for the steal. We'll see.
Control down is the call.
Then Peter called control down. That looks a lot more like normal up to me.
Meanwhile, Brian trying to clear more of these guards on sheet 1. Leslie sweeping hard.
All right.
Gonna get by one and take out the one in the rings.
Nice shot there. All right, so Kevin got one, but I think what he has done is he has left. He's left the nose hit, which if he plays the if Matt plays the nose hit, then Kevin's coming down to the back one for one.
Yep.
I think what they're playing now though is possibly a double.
I think they're just going for the one because forcing to one with their lead is a pretty strong position.
Yeah, they must not think it curls a ton off the center line coming this way then.
Doug's rock just kissing off the guard and deflecting out in the open on sheet one.
And the guards just get closer together.
Craig's gonna go right for it, no hesitation.
All right. Gallegos needing the rock to come off the center line a little bit there for the hit. It will clear.
Does. Makes the hit and sticks. Making it so Jess is looking at that double if it's possible.
No, I think what she's looking at is whether or not that red is second shot.
I don't think it is, though.
Yeah, if that red is second shot, then it's a shot for two. If not, it's only a shot for one, and you may play the double.
Well, the double would be for three. They are definitely taking a look to see which one they think is shot.
Or second shot, yeah.
Meanwhile, Doug looking to exchange hits.
From our very uneducated angled fisheye look in the warm room, it does look like it might be red by a hair for second shot on sheet two. A very unscientific view, though.
I squinted at it. So Kevin's still not quite sure what he's doing, but Doug's shot hitting the yellow and bouncing out to the wing.
Well, Kevin's contemplating the risk reward here, right? We're in the
Fifth end.
He's down 4. I think he's going to play it safe and definitely get his one and then call for the measure on 2.
Meanwhile, the hit happening on sheet 1 and bouncing into the 4-foot. Still visible. Kevin, meanwhile, explaining his shot to his sweepers.
Christy's contemplating whether she wants to play the hit or if she just wants to draw down in the 4-foot because that yellow is behind the tee line currently.
Looks like at the draw it is.
All right, hammer on sheet 2.
Board is called.
Jess is calling for sweep on line.
Now curl. Past the guard. Hits. Does it sit? Does it sit?
No, I think that's third shot now. So now they got to figure out which one's 1-2.
Yeah, it's going to be close. It's going to be hard to tell with our camera.
We do have a fancy machine that will measure it for you.
We've already had to measure this game.
Okay, over on sheet 1, we had a call for back of the house, then we had a call for tee.
Doug calling for the curl. Both of you for the curl. Looks like it is.
Look, it's going to come in nicely and settle on the top 4 if they come off of it.
They're going to drag it to the top 4. Sitting shot stone, partially undercover. Craig looks like he's going to just chase it.
Gonna chase it. I think Craig is going to throw probably bumper to control and try to pick it out. And then Christy will get another shot at that.
Looks like we are on the measure on sheet 2.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a goofy part on sheet 2 on that line where the rock kind of falls out right after the hog line, which I think Kevin's rock got a little caught in on his last one. All right, 1 red.
Meanwhile, Craig's stone is away.
Oh, this is a draw. Okay.
Looks like it's going to be just enough to tap it, and will tap the red out of scoring position.
But all right, so he leaves his shooter in the back 12. All right, so Christy's got another shot at this.
She needs to take lightweight hit tap back on that yellow to outside the 8-foot to score 2.
Well, Christy doesn't have hammer. So I think what she's looking to do is she's looking to hit and flop or freeze down to the nose. I don't think she's looking to roll out into the open here. Alright, so we were looking for a center guard on sheet 2. Looks like it's over curling a little bit. And we're going to wind up with a 1 guard kind of corner-ish. Matt Gallegos electing to play to the open side in the rings. All right, we heard the call from Christy is hack weight, trying to get probably on the inside of that yellow for a little bit of a roll. Over on sheet 2, we're going to have a rock that probably settles in the T line back 8. All right, so now Kevin has to decide if he's going to chase it or play for the steal. All right, so he says we're going to play for the steal, so he's going to put up the center guard. Sheet 1, we've got a sweep call. This rock coming in quite nicely for Christy.
That's good. Beauty.
All right.
Good sweep.
Well, Craig's going to get forced to 1 here on sheet 1. All right, the call on sheet 2 says back 8, back 4 weight. So it looks like they're going to try to get it under their corner guard if they push it. But Kevin really wants it to stay above the T line right now. All right, we have hammer on sheet 1. Being called off. It's got to move a ton. Ardsley being asked to make it curl. That rock moved about a rock's worth in that last 2 feet. Okay, so yellow scores 1, and we're going to go into the 6th with red having hammer. Down 7-4. Kevin on sheet 2 was looking for the hit and flop.
Paper's job to make Skip look good, right?
Okay, Craig says I would really like a top 12 biter. A nice bumper weight shot from Ben Peters on sheet 2. Didn't quite get the movement they were looking for on that side of the sheet, although that side of the sheet tends to run pretty straight against the boards. So. All right, Leslie with the shot as called. So now the question is Christy going to chase? Nope, she's going to put up the corner. Tim with a nice peel on sheet 2.
Lisa calling it going to be short. Not there.
All right, Kevin electing to play the nose hit, and I think what he's going to try to do here is force Gallegos to 1, sort of with the split rocks. See how that.
Craig, meanwhile, on sheet 1, calling for another center top biter.
Ben Peters with a nice normal weight nose hit. So Gallegos, I think, is going to try to hit this and then roll the shooter towards the other one and kind of get the rocks grouped a little closer together.
Leslie's rock, a nice freeze on the top 12.
Christy calling the double and the roll.
Matt calling sweep all the way on sheet 2.
And a little roll. We're getting closer to the center together.
Christy saying no on the sweeping. Will hit both and looks close.
I think he gets the double. Doug working really hard for that double.
Does not quite get it.
It was a good shot. It moved the yellow behind, way behind the tee line. So. All right, Jess on sheet 2 being asked to play a hit, and I think Kevin wants to get a little bit of a roll to the wing again, which this will do. Nice shot by Jess.
Brian on sheet 1 being asked meanwhile to draw back to the top 12. Matt looking like he's going to try to hit and go back towards the center again.
Tim working hard to try to get that rock to curl on sheet 2. A little bit of a roll.
Little roll, tight, touching the forefoot. Brian's shot a little deeper than wanted, but top 4. Christy going to chase this and try to flop out to the wing.
I think she wants to flop under her somewhat of a center guard. Her high 1 guard.
Ben getting confused on sheet 2 from Christy's sweep call. Little bit of roll right
roll.
under the guard for sheet 1.
All right, so is Craig going to peel the guard?
Craig debating. Looks
All right, Craig thinks hack to chase the red, electing not to peel at this point. All right, Matt's really encouraging his sweepers to make contact with this one. Oh, but it over curls
does not.
a hair. Yeah, it's a little tricky on sheet 2. The out-turn side towards the warm room curls a lot more than the in-turn side does.
Brian's line shot called back line to hack. Craig saying he needs to curl.
He's going to dive a lot at the end there, though.
Leslie's helping it along. It looks like it may actually curl more than expected. Oh no, very good
Leslie's
shot.
like, I got this all. Look at her go. Nice job, Leslie, with the sweep.
And sweeps it out. Christy now faced with Craig's rock under her cover. Looking to do the same shot that Brian just threw.
Alright, so over on sheet 2, this was looking real interesting. Kevin's sitting 2 that are very spread apart without hammer. And it looks like I think they want something in the top 12 center.
Calling a guard though. Sheet 1 they're calling hackish. Trying to push it on sheet 1. Or sheet 2.
No.
Meanwhile, Lisa's hack slowing down to
maybe
just
go behind it?
back line.
12. Alright, so Gallegos is just going to play the hit nose stick, and it looks like they're just going to get forced to 1 on this end if all plays out like we think it will.
Still up 5-2, so
Yeah, they'll go up 6-2 after this end.
meanwhile Katie's Stone looking to try to just get around and take out the back line shot. Katie calling for the curl. It is curling a lot, and it's slowing down. It's going to be a high guard.
Alright, Christy's going to try to draw under, coming in the other way. No, she's going to peel.
Christie's going to peel.
So, without hammer, okay, she's going to peel to try to get to the shot rock.
Oh, and
Oh,
Gallegos spills out.
Alright.
So Kevin gonna try to put it someplace to make the hit more difficult.
No, I think where Kevin wants to ideally put it is to put it on the top 12 center line. Where if you nose it, you're not going to be shot rock.
So shenanigans on sheet 1 where the takeout ended up hitting the one into the other yellow, deflecting it into shot rock and knocking shot rock out.
I'm sure that's the way they drew it up. So we'll give them credit for it.
Shenanigans.
Okay, so I think it's a top 12 call. So I think what Kevin wants is he wants to force the draw such that if Matt noses it, he won't be shot given where the other 2 reds are.
Katie, meanwhile, looking to take out the shot rock on sheet 1.
Looking for the double. I'm not sure.
Not going to get the double, but we'll take out the 1 to sit 1.
They've left a double in the yellows.
Double in the yellows is possible there.
Alright.
Still 3 shots left for Bellefontaine.
Alright, so Gallegos electing to come inside out, interestingly, on this sheet instead of outside in, which is what I think most people would call because it's a little bit more predictable. But he just threw on this line, so I guess he thinks that he knows it and they can call it, and they just gotta stick and not roll too far.
Knows what it does, and he's got a fair amount of leeway. Meanwhile, Doug Stone being called for the sweep. Off the sweep, looks like it's going to be just missing the double. Leaves first skip rock for Craig.
Yeah, I think Craig's going to try to get a hit and roll over since Christie's got hammer on this end, and they're sitting 2 currently.
Meanwhile, Hammer Stone on sheet 2. Matt deciding, nope, got to think about this again.
I think he's contemplating his weight choice. Weight choice is control.
Sweeping out of hand. Sharon calling it off.
Got a curl. Just stick around.
Got a curl. Got a curl.
And there goes Tim.
Tim got it, and it sticks around for 1.
Yep. Good sweeping.
Craig calling hard sweep. Just ticks the red out, but spills out himself.
Surprisingly, after the flood they did on Sunday night, sheet 1 on the outturn side towards the boards curls a lot more inside the 8-foot than it used to.
It does, but the ice crew's been working hard on that, and it is doing much nicer.
So good job, ice crew. We all thank you for your efforts. All right, Gallegos with the please give me a top 4.
Nope. Change the TV channel.
Christy looking to draw under.
Trying hard to steal.
Well, she's got hammer. I don't think she actually wants to steal. I think she wants 3.
Okay, it's fair.
And that would tie things up.
Meanwhile, draw to the back 4 for team. Yesterday, all my dreams seemed so far away, which is a mouthful to say.
Isn't that like 4 Beatles songs? Like Yesterday's a Beatles song, and I don't know about the rest. This is a Beatles theme, Bonspiel.
Meanwhile, Sweep and Shout is sweeping very hard to try to get that corner guard.
And on sheet 1, they are
deep. Katie sweeping it, but it is still going to sit around in the back for shot rock.
Well, I think what Katie was looking to do was to bring the rocks closer. Craig could possibly get a flat double.
If he just skinnies that rock, he's got a good double shot there.
Yeah.
The red to red double. Meanwhile, Aaron trying to get some cover here for their shot rock.
Yeah, I think they're just going to try to sit top 4 in front of it. It'll look really good.
It's moving. That's deep.
No, it actually looks really good right where they want. No, overcurled a hair, probably. He's left a double.
Left a double.
Flop.
Meanwhile, Craig going for his own double. Ryan for the straight. Whoa. No. Yes. Whoa. Yes. No. That's always a good sign when they can't make up their mind. Gonna take it out. Sit shot.
Alright, so they're probably giving up 2.
Well, Christy still has to make her shot.
She's got this. Alright, over on sheet 2, we've got some on-off sweep calls for this double. Looks real nice. Oh, go. Someone's got to sweep it.
Gonna
Alright.
just stick around in the back of the house. But a good shot.
Yeah.
Sheet 1, Doug's lined up for the hit and stick.
Alright, Tim over on sheet 2 being asked to play the hit.
A lot of weight, they say.
Looks like they'll get a piece of it, but probably lose the shooter.
Now the shooter will stick around. Just out in the wings.
Alright.
Christie's hammer throw is out. Control. Jamie is being called. Ooh, this is curling.
Jamie's got it. This will be good. Alright, a nice deuce on sheet 1 for team While My Skip Gently Weeps. I think Jamie said yesterday that there's a team that's also called While My Sweepers Gently Weep.
No, while my front end gently weeps. That is Dan's team.
Oh yes, and so they wanted to play each other such that the only person who was not weeping was the vice.
Sadly, that did not happen this Bonspiel. Sheet 1, the score is now 7-6 with Craig's team ahead and having hammer. Jamie being called the center guard.
All right, Matt electing to peel the guard since the shooter did not, the shooter is sitting in the back of behind the tee line, behind cover for red. Well, I think we're going to be down the back red now.
Curling hard, or trying to curl it.
Nope, we're just going to play to the back red now.
Just missing the guard. Hitting that, but just going to roll out.
All right, good plan B on sheet 2.
Meanwhile, Leslie's shot. Trying to get it on the center line.
I think they're trying to get it in the house. They have hammer. I don't think they want to be on the center line.
Well, they'll be on the center line, but in the house.
Yeah.
Just halfway into the 8-foot. Meanwhile, Ben calling it possibly heavy.
Yeah, he was looking to, I think, draw underneath that corner guard. This is coming nicely.
Calling for Jess to sweep it and try to bury it. Definitely not heavy now. Meanwhile, Jamie Stone gonna peel his own, or actually run it back.
And
that was nice.
Cover.
That was definitely planned. Meanwhile, Matt calling Sharon to take out the guard. Tim called to keep it straight.
I think they got a mile to curl.
Aaron being called. Looks like they're going to ticket. Just enough to get it out.
Good sweep. All right, Leslie's rock being asked to come down to that red, I think.
Brian's saying it's about T-line weight. Looks like it's just going to tick off the red. Oh, just by it.
Preferably 2. I think it's this.
Out the back. Just looking to draw in.
No, I think she's looking for the hit. That's a lot of ice for the draw. I think they're looking to hit the yellow and roll. Yep. They must have determined that the red was second shot to play this hit. But I think they're going to roll out.
But she's going to roll up the shooter out.
Okay, so Gallegos is going to make a play on that red.
Jamie and Doug disagreeing about where this rock's going to end up. But it will end up top 8.
Okay. Craig elects to chase.
Can probably hit and spill right underneath the other guard.
No, they might just flash this red over on sheet 2. Oh,
just ticks it. Meanwhile, Brian Stone, Craig's calling for the sweep. Get and flop, still
just
sticking out.
Just a little. But that's good though, because I think if you make a play on the yellow, you either roll your shooter out into the open, or then you're going to group them in a way that they're so high you can draw under and kind of have a zillion guards for coverage. All right, Kevin looking for the split on the house to force Gallegos to 1 here again.
Well, Kevin has the hammer.
Oh, Kevin has hammer. So, all right.
Christie yelling for the sweep. It's going to end up nosing and rolling.
Very nice.
So we have 2 reds frozen. Craig debating.
Oh, I think Craig's going to peel this guard.
Peeling the guard.
This is what, his second?
His second, yes.
Right, so halfway through the end.
He was debating running the red back.
We're going to be fighting with that one the whole end. What do you like?
I think Matt is going to try to play
And then we're
the double here.
It's an awfully flat double.
drawing perfectly.
The red on the right is slightly
It's
higher.
slightly higher, but it's still
But
a
they're
flat
coming, they're
double.
coming inside out, so I think it's okay.
Craig and Brian finally agreeing on just peeling the guard.
Oh no, they must have decided that the yellow was second shot because Matt's just making a play on the red. The red in the top 12, which
Brian's shot is away on sheet 1. Hits, and sheet 2 hits and rolls to the wing. Still first shot though.
I'm not sure they are. I think given that Matt elected to play on that shot rock red, they may have thought that the back yellow was second shot.
No, I meant they rolled 2 first shot.
Oh, yeah, that's true. All right, Brian with the good tick to move
Move the guard out of the way.
the guard out of the way, and then his shooter rolled off, so it's not a factor.
Doug going to try to replace something. Two, 3 being called. 1. It'll be a guard, but not covering anything. Craig gonna try to do the double here. Meanwhile, Kevin taking out the yellow on the wing. There's a double there, but he would probably spill out if he hit it.
Yeah, he won't hold the shooter if he plays that double.
Katie's line is coming out. Craig calling the sweep. No. Looks like this is going to hit and get rid of both of them. Great shot. Meanwhile, on sheet 2, hit the yellow and stuck around for shot stone. Matt saying, just don't hit the outside of this rock.
Matt just wants to stick around. I think that's the whole. He wants to stick around and possibly be shot rocked.
Doug's shot, meanwhile, a little wide and just papers past it.
All right, so Craig's got a potential for a deuce now if he splits the rings.
Matt's shot is away.
He needs to not fall out. So.
Tim being called. Looks like it's going to hit on the outside. Nope, hits on the inside and sticks.
And narrowly misses the yellow in the back.
Will be shot rock for now.
And then maybe we get another measure. That would be exciting.
It is Kevin's hammer throw. Meanwhile, Katie looks like draw.
Yep, looks like a draw under cover.
Brian sweeping right out of hand.
Well, they got to go for weight. And it,
Leslie calling for the curl, but just needs to get into the house. Looks like they're going to get it. Just in the top and flat on the other one. It's a good throw. Here's Kevin's hammer.
all right, so if you're Christy and it's your first rock, are you hitting the yellow or are you going to try to draw under for the steal? No, she's going to hit.
She's going to hit.
Oh,
And yellow steals.
An unlucky jam. An unlucky jam on sheet 2. All right, so it's handshakes on sheet 2 with Gallegos winning the D event.
The D event yesterday, all my draws seemed so far away from Ardsley.
But it was a great game.
Great game, and we say thank you to Sweep and Shout, Kevin King's team from Potomac.
Yep.
Control weight called for Christie's first shot. Looks like it's a little narrow.
Jamie being told to put his back into it.
Gonna clear the guard though.
Oh, look at a nice little roll.
Nice roll, yes, and shot stone under cover. That was a very nice outcome.
So, Craig, on his first stone, I think will go under. And then he potentially, depending upon what Christy does, she'll probably chase the draw.
Craig saying draw behind is fine. Brian suggesting a tap.
Well, what I was contemplating was, do you split your yellow now, but then it opens the draw path. Christy will go under for the draw, and then you're chasing the draw for potentially 3. Right, if you split your top yellow now with kind of like back 12 weight to get it so that they're sitting 2-3, Christy will have to take the draw if she wants to steal. Otherwise, I guess she can play a hit, and then you're looking at 2.
That's possible.
So, we'll see. All right, applause in the warm room for those coming off of sheet 2 for a great game.
Brian saying a little light.
Oh, this looks really light.
Katie saying needs to get straight. Katie rushing out to help.
That's really light.
That is going to crash on the guard.
All right, Christy with an opportunity for a steal. So now the question is, you're up 1 with hammer. Do you let them take the 1 for the steal and take hammer coming home tied?
Well, it's going to be close. I think if you're guaranteed the 1, and if it's versus 2 without versus 1 with, 2 up without or 1 down with, I think 1 down with is slightly better.
But we're not playing the no-tip rule.
That is true, but that requires... I mean, there's a lot of shots that can be missed. Now. Christy is sitting 1, so if she gets 2, you definitely can't let her steal 2.
Well, if you let her steal 2, then you're coming home hammer down 1. Which you told me was not bad.
Christy's draw is coming around. Jamie's lightly sweeping.
Jamie's just cleaning to baby it. Her top 8, top 4. It's kind of floating out, but we'll get some curl back at the end.
Back looks calling it heavy now.
Well, this will settle in. Not that heavy.
No.
Katie's getting ready.
Katie's going to get it. It's going to be back 8.
All right, nice shot from Christy. So Craig's going to have to follow it down.
Craig's just going to draw in. Up by 2. He'll be up by 2 without hammer.
Although if he gives up 1, he picks it out, isn't bad either. Then they're tied coming home with hammer.
That's not bad. Brian saying it needs it.
Katie's calling straight. It's going to curl hard soon.
Katie coming out to help. Trying to get around that red. It does get around, and Oh, just short.
Just short.
One
All right.
for red, and we're tied coming back on the 8th end.
Exciting.
So it's all tied up. While my skip gently weeps, just scored. So Sergeant Pepper's Sweeping Hearts has hammer.
That's because Craig wanted hammer the last time. He's sneaky that way.
All right, Christy asking for the center guard. 2 is great.
I was going to say something to him, but I didn't want him to overthrow it. I figured since he came up light on the previous one, he might have...
This is when your lead rocks are oh so important to set up a steal in the 8th end.
Will just be off the center line, but nice guard nevertheless.
It's all right. Craig can't hit it yet, and he's not going to try to tick it, so he's asking Leslie to draw to the open wing.
Leslie's rock coming out straight.
Looks a little hot.
Being called a 9, that's back of the house.
It's digging a little bit, but
Yeah, this will stop pretty close to T-line.
all right, but she's in the rings, and that's what's important.
Yeah, another guard, absolutely.
Asking for another center.
And they're going to look to slightly stagger them, so she's coming around the other way now.
Call the 3, which would be perfect.
Looks heavier than 3.
Sweeper's thinking it's on.
I think we're top 12, top 8.
Top. Doug going to dig it in a little bit.
All right, Craig chasing.
Craig's going to take it out.
Leslie
wide.
kind of pushed it out on that, so now we got to wait for it to move over.
I think the sweepers are saying it's not going to.
Yeah. Oh, well. Came over a little bit, but not enough. All right, Christy electing to go one more under. And I think Craig's gonna look at peeling.
Above the T line.
Christie saying just above the tee line. Sweeper's on right away. Oh, Jamie saying guard. Needs to curl back to the center.
Looks like they can get it to top 12.
They are going to get it to about even.
All right, so Craig contemplates, does he chase the red in the top 12 or does he peel the guard now?
I think he just goes for the one and
Burn it
err on the
tight.
nair.
Yep, I think so. Well, Brian can throw some heat, so
Yep,
I think what they're contemplating is whether or not.
yep. So it looks like he's going to go for that higher one on the top 12.
Weight-wise, I mean, it wouldn't be bad if you punched it out on the high side and then rolled your shooter over to the right. That way you leave the draw path open, but let's see what it goes.
Could also, there is a double available. If he just skinnies the first red.
Kicks it sideways.
Craig saying sweep. It is curling. Whoa, it's passed.
Well, we're just going to get nose on it, I think.
Does get nose.
Okay.
Sticks around and a biter. Leaves Christy wondering what to do.
I think she's going to go under.
Under, or do you tap it back a little bit?
The red?
Tap the red back.
So you tap the red back a little bit. That yellow is available to raise, right? Because the guards are staggered. I'd probably go under.
Well, you can tap the red back under the yellow. Tap it at an angle.
Yeah, but then the yellow is still there to
The yellow's
raise.
there if you tap.
Well, no, the yellow is there for the other team to raise, and then your shooter's rolling off because of the angle you have to hit it at. Going this way, if she goes under and then they raise the yellow, she can still get to it with the red on the outside as a setup rock.
This is going to be a little heavy, though.
I don't think it's going to curl enough. That's the problem.
It's going to squeak into the back four.
All right, so this broom looks like
He's hitting it.
I'm calling for the same weight as before.
If he can hit and flop under.
Well, we're behind the tee line, so I think he may just.
Oh, that seems wide.
That is very wide. All right, Leslie.
It needs to come back. It is not coming back.
Leslie.
Oh, here it comes finally. Gonna miss, though.
Nope. Wow. All right, Christy will now try to take away that hit.
Putting something in the top 12.
Yeah, fair.
Heard a 2 out of hand. 2 is
1-2.
all right. Sweeper saying it's a lot deeper than the original call. This might actually be a
That
draw
says actually
under.
into the yeah, that's into the back rock.
And then with the little flop.
Little bounce, but yeah.
Okay. So now you've got the hit and flop under cover.
Calling backline weight.
I also wouldn't mind a draw down to it either. You'll be above the tee line. It gives you something. Let's see here. Gotta move. It's gonna move at the end though. Whoa. You gotta go line.
Gotta go line hard. Hard line.
Uh-oh.
It's ticking.
Okay, open it up. All right.
Opens
So
it up.
Open up. That's okay.
Yep. Now the shot rock is clearly open. Christy gonna try to put something back in the hole. Craig and Brian having a little conference. Doug shot. Christy just caring about the line here. It's coming. It's going to be pretty nice, except it might actually. Oh no, it's very nice shot for Doug.
Best cards though.
Craig and Brian debating what's best.
Regardless, I'll feel good on the ride.
Yeah, so the question is, do you peel the guard? Do you angle run your yellow now? The other thing, I guess maybe he saves at the end is
Brian's now looking at the red run back. There's a run back triple.
there is a run back triple. But we're halfway through the end, and so
But if you miss the run back, you probably clear that open, and that's forcing Christy to go back again. If you hit the red, you're replacing it with a raisable stone of your own.
Yep.
Even if this run back jams, you have now all yellow on that side of the sheet besides the shot rock.
Yep. I think they're calling it tight because if you wind up peeling that top red, that's okay too. That opens up the yellow tap on the 12-foot.
Katie throwing a ton of weight at this.
Yep.
Looks like it needs to curl. Not Craig likes it, but oh, that was unexpected.
All right.
Clears out most of the stuff at the top of the house, and now yellow's sitting a close second shot. Christy going to double down on the guard. Doug not liking it.
Doug explaining that there's still a lot of things that Craig has available. So they're going to play the guard.
Two guard is what they're looking for. Middle of the guard zone. Curling, Doug says.
All right. Keep going. All right, that leaves kind of a narrow port.
That is a tight port, which means Craig would have to throw a lot of weight through it.
I think Craig can throw a lot
Craig
of weight.
can throw a lot of weight, like there's no doubt about that. But you know, even if he takes one of those guards, clearing that draw path is not bad. I will say it looks a lot bigger of a port in person than it does on the screen.
It also probably looks like a much bigger port from the other side by the hack than it does from where we are in the warm room. He also doesn't need to throw a rocket. I think he is given the line.
Oh, he's definitely throwing a rocket.
But what I was going to say is you don't actually need to throw a rocket.
That's going to make it through. Makes it through. Hit. Oh. But Red's still sitting shot. But
Yeah.
this is a much better layout for Craig.
Well, he's got the double angle raise now, plus he has the entire 4-foot to draw to now on the outturn side. But what I was going to say was you didn't need to play a rocket because if you tapped your yellow up on that last shot.
You could, but with the way the ice has been curling, if you don't throw a rocket, when you make it through the port, you're going to over curl before you hit your yellow. Christy electing to just try to put something in the draw path on the outturn side.
Leaving Craig potentially the same shot.
Craig could have the same shot, but if she's sitting second shot, he would have to risk falling out. If she is full red, then he can't do the same shot because he won't, even if he sticks, he won't be shot. Doug's saying to stay close, but the T-line wait is called. Needs full 4, Doug says. Jamie's on it. Jamie's on it. Oh, and it just pulls up hard at the end.
Yeah, that would be the 8th end slide path shenanigans.
Craig now looking at, he just needs to, I mean, all he needs to do is take out that back red.
Leslie says
saying
the
it's
same
still
shot's
there.
still there. He could also draw to the 4-foot.
He could.
That is
But-
definitely there on the outturn side.
Brian and Craig saying the same thing Leslie said now, it's still there.
The warm room would like him to come through the port again.
Block the red. You have to get to about here on the red.
Brian's trying for the tick
Well,
shot.
I think the question is, where do you hit that red so you get the gear effect on the yellow? Because the yellows are frozen together.
Just slightly on the inside should work.
And what kind of weight would you throw?
Even, I mean, just about anything on that red, you hit it back, it should, because the yellows are overlapping a little bit, shove the back yellow to the left. But
Sometimes you have too many options.
yes,
All right, looks like
Spoiled
they're gonna
for
go.
choice.
They're gonna go same shot through the hole.
same shot through the hole. Here it goes.
It's gotta come off the line. Whoa, whoa! It's gotta curl a mile.
Needs to
Gotta
curl,
a
needs to
mile.
curl, needs to
Gotta curl a
curl.
mile.
Needs to curl. No! Oh! 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 Second!
Wow! What sort of shenanigan is that? Well, that's excitement for the C event final. I don't think anybody drew it up that way, but what a game. Wow. All right.
Sergeant Pepper's Sweeping Hearts on a very unexpected shenanigan shot gets the win and the C event final. Stay tuned. We'll be resetting the ice and playing the A and B event final shortly after this.
All right.